First there was Burl, slapstick, out comedy. Just a moment for sick comedy, by the way. As I said, there was nothing new. Time magazine grouped about 4 or 5 sick comics. Let's negate that immediately. Mortzall, brilliant, political, stand-up, stark monologist. Nothing sick about him, or he would have never done a Revlon spec. Shelley Berman, real Hamish, down-home humor, forget him. Jonathan Winters. Yeah, Jonathan's, yeah, he's beautiful. He's a little sick, yeah, I dig him. In fact, they're taking me away soon. Jonathan finked on me. That's how he got out. He turned into nuts. And that's what the guy said. If I turn in 4 nuts, I can stay on the street. No. But Lou Costello, there's a good comedian. Well-liked, well-loved comic. And the era that's criticizing the sick comic today, which, believe me, I feel no hostility towards any reviewer that writes me, because I realize that the reviewer has to take a side, one man's opinion, and for him to knock makes a very interesting column. So I'm not drugged with any people who put down sick comedy, because I don't do any sick comedy, but it's a commercial tag that's happened now. The same as Calypso, which never was. Let's see, Lou Costello. Let me think of a joke that Costello would do. You'd never think of Lou Costello as a sick comic, would you?
No, family type home entertainment.
All right. Lou Costello used to do a joke. My wife died last night. Now, I would never move into that area at all in humor. I would never. A comedy is tragedy plus time. That's a little too close. All right, that's some sicko one. His wife died last night. He's humoring. When she, on her deathbed, she said, when I die, if you cheat on me, I'll dig my way out of my grave and haunt you, which is a pretty macabre situation we're building. The joke, the punchline, I buried her face down, let her dig. That's sick.
Yeah,
that's very sicko.
Well,
wife dead, crawling through the grave.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, the hasty heart.
Well, it's been suggested, and I think there's something to it, that more than you're really operating in sick areas, it is society itself that maybe has some problems, and you kind of throw a little light on some of them.
Yeah. Then again, I'd like to, I'd love to be the martyr, and say, yeah, that's right, a society's sick. And, I'm straightening out a lot of societal problems. But I realize that I'm society, it's never they. Your society, and it's like integration to me is a big hang-up. I capsule it very quickly. I don't knock anybody who's not an out-and-out integration. It's just the way I look at it very simply. It's just from a moral aspect. If you're not an out-and-out integrationist, naturally you're an atheist, because Christ and Moses were teachers. And if you keep anybody out of school for 5 minutes, you're against every Christ-like concept, so that you're an atheist. Now, from a safety factor, the missiles, Polaris, Vanguard, Atlas, are made from academic background, physics. There's no such thing as give them a few dollars, they'll fix it. It doesn't work that way. So anyone who is not an out-and-out integrationist is just a communist, pro-communist, So that bugs me. But I never get that. I'm just giving you a bill now. I never get that philosophical with it on the floor without getting humorous. Whereas I've watched a lot of nighttime shows where they've got 4 or 5 colored people and 3 or 4 au faits, and they get heavy with it. It gets too profound. They just start discussing Porgy and Bess, which I'll give you quick for a moment. Porgy and Bess, Otto Preminger, forget him. He's a rank amateur. But as far as Porgy and Bess being a Jim Crow Uncle Tom picture, not so, because Porgy and Bess, the Spays at that time were funky and down home, and he painted them just that way. Now, if you're going to get on a scene with colored people and you get too patronizing, then as Ralph Ellison says, it becomes the invisible man. You don't really treat them as people. In other words, I'm Jewish, I don't resent Shylock in Shakespeare, So But on the floor, I'm a bug with integration, so I'll attack it humorously, and I'll go to Little Rock and I'll say that Little Rock has solved the situation. They've done it through legislation. If the colored people can pass the literacy test, they get the vote, and it's very fair. Well, let's see now. Line all the colored people up here, and if they pass the test, they can get the vote here. It's very easy. Just sign your name. There's this ballpoint pen, this piece of wax paper, and just sign it. And
I think it's in the areas of social commentary that you probably come closest to people like Morton, things that Morton does. But you also work with your humor in areas that very few, the little anecdote of Costello's notwithstanding, that very few comics work today. You find humor in some of the strangest and sickest aspects of society, like some kid blowing up his mother in a plane or things of this kind.
Yeah, well, here's how I feel about it. If I start to really analyze my humor, I guess every bit of it stems from some societal problem or people's concept that I think is hypocrisy. All right, the kid that, remember a couple years ago, and I did on the album too, a kid was stuck in the well?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, there was a child that was trapped in the well. Huh? And a doctor attended him, and they got the kid out, and the doctor sent a bill. Right? Now, the nation screamed, what thinks those doctors are, How about that, sending those poor people a bill, Well, naturally, the poor person they sent the bill, let's see, generalize his, maybe as a TV repairman, all right? And he's a poor person opposed to the doctor who maybe grosses $6,000 or $7,000 a month, or a specialist, right? Okay, but how about the poor TV mirror? That schlub wants to get paid now, Daddy, $2 home repair, he wants the bread there, from the doctor, anyone he wants it from. So the doctor naturally should get paid. So that struck me sort of humorously and bugged me, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I satirized it, and I said that they sent the doctor bill, blah, blah, blah. So it brought so much heat on the AMA, the American Medical Association, that all the doctors got together, And the doctor kept saying, I want my money. What do you figure? Look, I want the money, man. I stayed out there with the kid, and it was cold, my legs are chapped, and that's it. I want the bread, that's all. I'm giving out split now. Will you stop it now with that money? Look, I want the money, man, and that's all. I don't want to have no hassle. I sent the bill, $63 plus the medicine, and that's it. I want it. I want the money. I don't want the guy fixing my TV. I want the money. That's it. But you stop with the money. We'll get even next year with a new disease, and that's it. Forget about it. We'll swing that way. Get the guys. Give me a new disease for next year. All right, we're thinking. Get the writers up. Give me what disease you're working on. Well, we're thinking of switching the grip. Yeah, we didn't do the grip for a while. That's pretty wild. Yeah, the grip. That's interesting. Let's see. I'll give you a working title for it. Asiatic flu. Okay? Send that out. Call up Park Lily, get some new pills. The Spaniels died last year. Call up Leonard Solomon, Solomon's Drugs, and get some, I think the greens will go good. And that's it. Okay, doctors, that's it. Asiatic flu. Are there any questions? Yeah, what are the symptoms? Same bit. Nauseous, headache, loss of appetite, all right? All right, what do we tell the people when they want to know where it comes from? Are you kidding? The same bit. It's going around. It's going on. Throw in the body is like a tree, and throw in those other moron parallels, that they understand. Your body's like an automobile, and if you put the gas on, and those other nitwit things, okay? That's it. I send it out. So that's it. So they got the kid, out of the well, and the report came from Patchogue, New York, that the child is out of the well. The doctor bill will not have to be paid. Of course, the child will have to be returned to the well. And that is like, which is...